So, how to create and why you should have a travel binder. I know what you may be thinking. Why would I make a travel binder? Who has the kind of time? Why do all that when we have iPads and iPhones and Androids and Samsungs, email? Why do that? Well, have you ever thought, what if those things get lost? What if something technology driven happens where you can't access all your stuff? It's a good thing you'd have a binder. It's a good idea. Well, here's my travel binder. It's small. It's not a big one. I found the mini ones at Walmart for $1.50. You can purely create your own cover to fit you. Here's one of the pages that I have, travel expenses, where I can just document everything, that I think I'm going to spend money on. Here's a great way to budget: food, lodging, transportation. You can even compare, so maybe on your next trip you could try to spend less or anything like that. Trip itinerary. Here is something you can just write things down to see how you want to go about taking your trip. Here's everything. You could be more detailed with each day. Make notes, things you want to do, places to eat, where you're actually going to go that day. And here's like a whole summary of your trip. I know the titles are pretty, self-explanatory, but you never know. Some people may not know or understand. But the good thing about technology nowadays is you can find these awesome printables online. All you have to do is put travel binder printables, and you can find all of these for free. Because why? That's what I did, and it worked. And they have different pages, or you can even make your own pages. You don't have to buy printables. That's one thing people think, oh, I'm not artsy craftsy. You'll be surprised what a ruler and stickers will do. That's why I'm going to show you mine so far. I have a travel journal, but I really got into travel bindering recently when I started trying to organize my Orlando, Florida trip. Obviously, as it says, July 2020. And I promised you guys, I promised myself that this channel would document how I get ready for a big trip. And this is one of the ways I budget and plan everything. Comes down to customized shirts, an extra pair of new shoes. But I am very organized. I organize this binder based off of kind of my brain. I kind of pre-budget things I really want, like clothing. And then I begin planning. My planning tab is probably bigger than, more in depth than my actual trip tab. But I have my shopping list. Now, my shopping list always include things I'm going to buy there and things I'm going to buy before the trip here where I live. So some of the things that I buy are pre-packing things. And then some of the things on my shopping list I know I'm going to need to buy when I get out there, especially because I've been starting a certain diet where I only eat certain things. I know I'm going to have to buy those certain things when I get out there for the Airbnb. So that way I'm not starving. Also, I'm a big person of, I keep an eye out on flights. Anytime I have free time, I'm checking on flights to see how things are flowing, how prices are going at certain times. And then once I see a good flight, instantly, if I have the cash, I text the best friend and we book right then and there. I'm usually always kind of keeping an eye out, whether on lunch break or when I get home from work or just hanging out. I tend to keep an eye on flights. Also, I love researching Airbnb choices. Like before my trip in Boston, go to Boston this past summer, I already had like 10 Airbnbs lined up. So my best friend came to town for us to go to Boston. I already was showing her Airbnb choices for our next trip, which was to Orlando. Unfortunately, I did run into a snafu with those Airbnbs, so I had to find new ones. But that's for another vlog. Good thing about travel binders is staying organized. You wanna keep everything separated. Like my planning section is separated from my actual travel plan section. I do that because, I can spend almost a whole year planning a trip, and then this tab can remain empty up until I start booking. Like, yeah, I filled it in a little bit, but a lot of these details I can't, I would say, make them concrete until I've booked the flight, have booked the Airbnb. Because then, one, I know two big chunks of money that are not accounted for. Therefore, I can start distributing the money I've saved or plan to save or plan to budget to save. And then I can start figuring out where to put cushion at and where to actually figure out, hey, I might need to save a little bit more. But I like having a travel binder because it keeps me on track with saving. It keeps me on track with planning. It's similar to my Walt Disney trip binder that I have that keeps me for sure tracked on what I should be booking. But I like having a travel binder because unlike my Walt Disney binder, this one is smaller. But like I've said in previous vlogs, that budgeting is just the key to making it happen. Like once you get an idea about how much money you need to save for sure to go and make it happen, then as you're saving, you can tweak and say, I might not need as much money there, which is what I realized recently. I was saving for Airbnb that was like $700. I ended up finding one that was like $500. It was $2 cheaper. Am I adjusting my goal budget? No. That's just $200 extra that I'll be able to put somewhere else later. But like I said, in my Walt Disney binder, I already have a packing checklist. I don't want to fill this one in yet because this is gonna be my more finalized, one that I'm gonna check off once I start packing checklist. Because this binder is one I will more than likely 99% sure take with me on my trip, with all my details of confirmation numbers and fast pass information and all that stuff that I'll need just in case something happens to my phone or digital devices. Which I do have a tablet and a phone, but you never know nowadays. One might just say fuck it and crash. Oops, excuse me for my language. But like I said, your daily itinerary. That's when you can write down things like make little notes, things you wanted to do, and what you like. This one for me, since I'm going to Walt Disney World, I put for my daily itinerary just Monday through Thursday. I'm going to be going to Walt Disney World, so why make a bunch of daily itineraries when I'm going to be basically doing the same thing every day, which is go to the theme park, have fun there. I can put the details of the days in my Walt Disney binder, take a picture of that, print that, and then just include that into the sleeve of this binder when the time comes, or even scan a copy of it and fold it up and put it in here. I didn't feel the need to actually write all that out. Same with the last page. I plan on going to Universal Studios the day before we leave, so why, put all those details like, oh, I'm going to write this, when I already know, that part might actually fluctuate. Trip itineraries, I like writing those, but that's where I feel like you should be spontaneous. I think trip itineraries should have your most wanted things that you want to do in them. But I do believe in exploring and letting just, the trip go where it must. And I learned that tip from when I went to Boston and Salem, that, you can plan things. Like I really want to see the Bewitched statue, but we ended up not going to certain things and going to other things that we noticed instead of actually, because you can't research everything everywhere. You can't. Another thing I like about travel binder is it's a binder, so you can add paper, you can add dividers, you can go ahead and kind of research other places you might want to go next. Like me and my best friend have been talking about maybe going to Atlanta, Georgia for our next trip. So whenever she told me that, I kind of just took a peek at what they had to offer in that city and just wrote them down. I have not started planning that trip at all. I've been really trying to focus on Walt Disney World, which is why more Walt Disney World vlogs will be coming, to things I find out. But travel binders help you stay organized. They help you, have everything together with you while you're not at home. It's perfect for you if you want to make copies of things and put in there just to have everything with you. That can be a part of your carry-on bag. It's just to have all your stuff together. So that way, if something happens where you can't access your technology, you have it there with you to save you. But again, I hope this helps. As always, subscribe.